Today guys, we are talking about what I believe was the best driver of 2023, but how can they improve on it this year? And for me, the best driver of 2023 was the Callaway Paradigm Triple Diamond. A nice low spinning driver, which was giving me the longest and straightest drives that I've hit for many years, and it did replace the mini driver in my golf bag. Now we know the Paradigm was and still did have obviously the jailbreak technology in there from Callaway, so the latest technology that Callaway had brought out, and obviously this driver has been in the bags of the likes of John Ram and many other Callaway tour players. But it wasn't probably the most commonly bought in the UK. And it's not a driver I've seen a lot in the bag when I've played all over the world this year. But I don't know why that is. Obviously, off-centered hits, this club for me was very impressive. Again, I don't always hit the centre of the face, but I would still be able to get good ball speed. Even there, not the best drive, a little bit of a pull, 265 yards, running out to 285. Again, first drive was just sneaking into the 290 range, and that's why I've liked it. I've had consistency on even off-centered hits, and so for me there, obviously Callaway have got a big dilemma of how do they improve on this driver. We've obviously seen with Callaway that they have brought the new putters out, the new Odyssey range, the AI ones have come out, and it'll be interesting to see there where the driver range goes. For me, it's going to be exceptionally hard to beat the Paradigm. Obviously, I feel like it's got the forgiveness, it gets me the low spin, and it gets me out there exactly where I should be, around about 290 yards to 300 yards out on a golf course. So one big thing that Callaway haven't done this year, for me, have really pulled up any trees when it goes to the everyday golfer. So the everyday golfer isn't going to be using the Triple Diamond. The everyday golfer is going to be going for the standard Paradigm or the Paradigm X. And looks-wise for me, there is certainly big changes when we go into those. And the biggest one for me is down at the golf ball. Straight away, looks-wise, the shape isn't quite as refined as that Triple Diamond. Yes, it's a more smaller compact head, but again, angles on this doesn't really suit my eye. They've gone back to having the chevron in the middle, which I think for the everyday golfer, you know, as when we have Dave on the channel, that's one big thing that he wants. He wants something that, again, on the top of the head can help him align the ball in the middle. And comment below, guys, is that something that you do? Obviously, we know last week we talked about the ping range. We've got the turbulators on the top that make you center that golf ball. But straight away down here behind the golf ball, it doesn't look as inviting to me. Whereas with the pings last week with the 430 range, they all look pretty similar, and you maybe wouldn't be able to tell the difference behind the golf ball. And for me, one noticeable difference is the sound there. It is a very much more tinny sound. Not the best strike there, off-centered, still got 250 carries. So forgiveness-wise, yes, that's performing. It's still getting an off-centered hit for me over 250 yards carry, nearly 270 yards. So I'd take that. But sound is something that straight away would put me off. And behind the golf ball, we also have differences on the lines on the face. So we can very much see them present and bright when we're looking down at the golf ball on the traditional Paradigm, whereas it's a little bit more blacked out on the Triple Diamond. So again, is that something that you like look of? Do you want to see lines on the face? Do you want to think that helps you with alignment? For me, it's certainly off-putting. And obviously, I am actually still kind of the target market for the standard Paradigm because I am somebody who doesn't always hit the center of the face. I'm not always consistent. So I am looking for forgiveness, but that straight away down behind the golf ball is not filling me with something that I like the look of. And that's the problem there, where I haven't seen many Paradigms on the Triple Diamond range, but I also haven't seen many people going into this. And is that because of the shape? Is that because of obviously the sound? Or is it because of the looks on that face? That's something that Callaway, I know, are trying to improve on next year. We've had it before. Obviously, the Ping 425 range was certainly something that sounded totally different to the 430 range. I'll certainly look forward to see, obviously, what they are going to bring out there in regards to the mid-handicap. Are they going to get something that is a little bit more forgiving, looks closer to the Triple Diamond, and then, obviously, can they improve on the Triple Diamond? Because the Triple Diamond, for me, is certainly something that is one of the best drivers out there, has won plenty of tour events this year, but maybe it hasn't won many monthly medals or weekend Stableford's, and that's something that obviously Callaway are looking to get into. And have the Paradigm and the Stealth 2 ranges struggle because of price point? And now I've been speaking to the head professional here, Frank, who's been looking at getting the new models in for next year, and one big talking point is price. They have looked at price and they have changed that. I was lucky enough to be at the AI1 launch a couple of weeks ago, and when we went through the new technology and through the new clubs, we know that obviously they needed to look at price. Price may be something that's been affecting them being the top seller this year. We know that the Ping was a little bit cheaper, and that's maybe why that has sold more. They've certainly looked into that to try and get a price more competitive. And that's something that obviously, comment below guys, is that something you look at first? Yes, if it performs, maybe even if it gets you an extra 5 yards, is that worth another £100? Or do you go, okay, I'll save that £100, that could be lessons, that could be for a green fee, that could be for a trip away or towards a trip away, or would you pay for that extra 5 yards and go for the Callaway driver over the Ping driver? Certainly something to talk about, and certainly something for you to watch out for next year. I think you'll see a little bit of movement in the price and going in the right direction. Final one up, we do have obviously the Paradigm X, which again is favoured more for the drawbacks, which has certainly helped me show that there. And this is the most forgiving. This is the biggest one. This is again for those guys who are struggling maybe to launch the golf ball. We've got again a bigger profile. We've got more weight and a set weight towards the back to help with that launch. So this is again something that, and I would say this is a club that is similar to obviously the SF Tech. So the Ping version there, which we saw last week, I was still able to get a good distance out of. And this does actually feel a little bit more solid than the Paradigm, and this is where it's interesting for me, where again we want to have those drivers for the lower handicap golfer, but the majority of everyday golfers are in the teens, are in the 20s, and want more forgiveness, want something that maybe is going to help them with their slides. The Paradigm for me was the best driver on the market, but it'd be very interesting to see which way they go with this. Are they going to go to try and improve the Triple Diamond? Are they trying to improve them all? Because for me there's a little bit of room for them to improve the looks of those. But comment below guys, which drivers have you been using? Are you using any of the Paradigm range? Why did you go for it, and how's it performed this year? Are you looking to change, or are you looking to stay into it? Because I know a lot of Ping people from last week did comment saying that obviously they're not going to change, they're not going to go into anything else, they're really happy with their Max driver, with their SF Tech, or even some were exceptionally pleased with the LS Tech. A great driver there. For me, Callaway produced the best driver of last year. The other two models, for me, it's just looks. Performance-wise, they're doing exactly what they expect on the tin, but they could make them look a little bit more sleeker, which I'm hoping they're going to do. Next week, guys, we're going to tackle the elephant in the room. We're going to be talking about TaylorMade and what they're going to do, because there's been plenty of glimpses of the latest TaylorMade, with McIlroy using it at the DP World Tour Finals, so I'm sure you've all had a glimpse.